everybody, welcome back. Fiber Floozie Crafts. My name is Jill. So glad you came to jump in and say hello to me. You're at the She Shed. I don't have a ton of things to show you, so this is gonna kind of be, we're gonna just kind of move around the room. I have been working on some things. I've got some commissions and just various little whatnots. So I'm going to try not to be too long, but at the end of this video, I'm going to be putting together my Floozie sweater that is a commission, and so I may bring you along for that. So I hope if that sounds like fun, come on in. Okay, I brought you in just a little bit closer so we could talk. So first of all, behind me, that is a shawl called Everblue, I believe is the name of it. Someone had asked me that last time. That was made for me by one of my members, by a subscriber, and someone who is on lots of different places. I met him over at Christie's, Crochet Creations by Christy. His name is Steve here on the interwebs. And he made that for me. He made a purple one for my daughter Chelse, and he made that one for me, and I love it. What do I have on? This is the Encanto wrap. It is by Crochet Luna. I do no longer remember the names of these colors. This was a lot of fun to do, even though I messed it up. And I'm holding it on with a pin. This is by Jewel Designs. And the reason I'm wearing the Encanto wrap is because we've gotten a little bit warmer here. Now we're in the 80s. And so I have an air conditioner on, and I have a sleeveless dress. And I have a terrible bruise on my arm because I take blood thinners. And so if you take blood thinners, you know it turns all shades of ugly. And so I have this on to put over the arms. Yeah, that's the thing that's going on there. So I did finish all of the panels for the Floozie sweater. If you are unaware what I'm talking about, the Floozie sweater is a sweater, a knit sweater that some of us were making on Friday nights on our Stitch and Crime together as a make-along. I had an actual make-along to make the sweater. And that one, there is a playlist here on my channel, Floozie Sweater Mal, and you can find all of the information at the bottom underneath in the description box of those videos. So as I put them out and we were doing the next step, I would write the instructions for you in the bottom of the description box. So you can go through and you can find all of the written instructions on how to make the sweater in those videos at the bottom. And then you can watch, you can go through and watch as I do them in the videos. Now those are my Stitch and Crime videos where we talk about crime. If that's not your thing, you could always put it on mute and watch the steps you need to watch, and then look at the descriptions and match everything up. This is the back. Yes, this one's black. So this is a commission. Got the back, and then I just finished the other front panel. See, this is the arm's going to match this other one. I still have to put these ends in. So I have all those panels together. They're all ready to go. And so when we get through over here, we're going to move to the table and start putting together the sweater. In that playlist, I do have a video where I show you how to put the sweater together when you get done. Okay, what else am I working on? I finished a hat, and I will do my best to put a picture in here for you. This is a hat that I made for a subscriber. It is packed up and on its way to her, so I don't want to, I needed to get it in the mail for her. Whenever one of, gotta readjust. Whenever one of my subscribers is ill or going through something, I like to send them a hat. And so Tamara, it's on its way. And then I have another hat that I am sending off, and so she will get that at some point. So those two things are done. What else? I feel like I finished something else, but I'm not sure what it is. Can't think of it if I did. Okay. The one hat I used this, which is, I love this cotton. And the color is Paris in June. That's the color. Now this one I will put in with my cotton for Friday night. We're doing washcloths Friday nights now. And what I'm doing with that is, I had started a make-along a while back. I'm not even remembered now what the name of the make-along. I have a playlist for it. And I was doing squares for the old, it's that old blanket. Nisi did it from FreehandlyMadeAu. If you don't know Nisi, you need to go check her out. She just finished an absolutely beautiful shawl from Angela over at My Precious Yarnery. It's just gorgeous. But Nisi was doing it on a make-along that someone else was having, and you made all these squares. It was an heirloom Afghan, and so I was doing that one, and I did not get done with it because, well, a mouse ate my yarn. When I say that, it almost sounds like somebody ate my homework. But a mouse literally, next to my desk over here where I do filming and tutorials, I had it all down below so that I could get to it easily for the tutorials. And a mouse got in there and made a nest and chewed my yarn, and I got discouraged and I did not finish it. That is exactly what happened. I'm being quite honest with how that all went. And we were doing so good too, because Terry from the Yarn Joy podcast was doing it with me, and a bunch of other people were doing it. But anyway, so now I'm doing them over again, but I'm making washcloths with the squares. So the squares are about 7 or 8 inches, and then we just put a single crochet around the outside of them. But every Friday I'm starting a new one, and so I'm gonna put this in, and that's going to be my next washcloth. Okay. I don't know how many of you remember when because I don't know if I showed this here. I think I did, my Michaels haul. And I got the loops and threads yarn. These things just kind of start falling apart. They get messy really quick. This is the carousel twist yarn. Now I have 2 of these. This one is called, they're 100% acrylic. This one's called Birthday Cake. White with all these little speckles and things in it. So I got 2 of those. Then I got a green and a yellow. The green is Tide Pool, kind of a minty green with blues and stuff. And then this one is Limoncello. Thank you. And these are 100% acrylic, 213 yards each, 5.3 ounces, 150 grams, 195 meters. It's a bulky number 5. And they recommend using an I9, which is a 5.5 millimeter, which would be normal for a 5 weight yarn. I am using a K, and that is a 6.5. Now, I was on with Shannon, Art Junkie and Mixed Media Art, Art Junkie Crochet and Mixed Media Arts. I will leave her link. You need to go see that. We had the best time just hanging out. And I showed that what I was going to do with these was make granny squares. And I was going to make the plain granny square with not as many holes. But that fabric, even with a K hook, I didn't like it. It was too dense feeling. And it's so strange, the stitches you use, how it's so different, you know? So instead, I'm going to do the moss stitch. This is where I'm at right now. This is going to be a baby blanket. That's how it's looking. It has, I started with the yellow, and then I did the white, the birthday cake white, and then the tide pool, and then the birthday cake white, and then the yellow, and I will do the white again. So every other row will be the birthday cake white one, and then I'll go back and forth between the yellow and the mint green. And so this is basically just single crochets, and you do a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, and then when you come back you go into the spaces to do your single crochets. And I believe that's the moss stitch. And I like this fabric much better than the granny fabric. It just didn't feel right. It was way too dense. This is still fairly dense. I think this is going to be nice because it's not real spacey. You don't have a bunch of holes. You know, you pull it out, yeah, see, you can see them. But there's not like definite holes to poke through, so it'll be good for a kid. I'm using Lion Brand Heartland, my favorite. Mount Rainier, I believe, is the color of this one. And I'm making a puppy. I'm using a 4 millimeter, my tulip hook. I got my eyeballs in. Right now, to me, it looks a little bit like a schnauzer. To me, it looks like a schnauzer. Now let me show you. This one is called the Puppy. And it's from this book, The Crochet Ragdolls. So I'm at the point right now where I need to stuff it, and then I will start closing the gap at the bottom. And this is the little dog. Doesn't it look like a schnauzer? I had issues. The issue was when I was putting the eyes in, you're supposed to do these eyelids, and then you put the little center, you do the magic circle to do them, and then you put the eye through the little circle and then close it up tight and put that through the material. Well, that just wouldn't go in there, and it didn't feel tight enough for me. I wanted it good and tight for the kids, you know. So I had to finagle it just a little bit. But I don't think it looks badly. And we'll see how it looks once I put the stuffing in there. Because, you know, things change a lot. And plus, he doesn't have his ears. I got to do ears on it. So, I think it'll turn out good. But if you know me, you know I'm not an amigurumi maker. Amigurumis are just not my thing. But I figured I could do a few of the heads with those floppy bodies where I don't have to stuff the rest of it. We will see. Now, the pattern uses DK weight yarn and a smaller, even smaller hook. I wanted to use the worsted, so mine is probably going to be slightly larger than the other finished projects. But anyway, so that's that. And that right there is pretty well everything I've done. I have not worked on because I wanted to get the sweater done and the hat done, and that's about all. I do have works in progress in the hallway back there. I have not even picked up anything. I have a Tunisian project I have not worked on. That's a little baby blanket. I should be working on that instead of starting a new one, right? But I wanted to work with the new yarn. I still have the Joji Locatelli shawl that I'm wanting to finish. I still have the 52 pickup mal that I have not worked on. I have another shawl that I'm making that is like, well, let's put it this way. Dee at Dee's Creative Hands said she was going to do a hippy dippy mal. Well, they've had an awful lot of really tough, heart-wrenching things happen, and she has not started that yet. But because of what she was talking about, I just went ahead and pulled a whole bunch of stuff, and then I just went ahead and started because I just liked how it looked and I wanted to go and play with it, and it was making me very happy. But I had to put that away because I needed to do the sweater. Okay, I got some things in the mail. So speaking of Dee from Dee's Creative Hands, she and her husband Mark will occasionally dye yarn, and when they do, they only make a limited amount of them, and then they will put them up for sale on a live, and you bid on them in order to get them. And I bid on the yarn, and I had to keep bidding, and my internet and even my cell phone was lagging. Someone put in there to put it at a different speed and then and somehow I managed to grab one. I feel like I won the lottery. This is the yarn. It is beautiful. Now it's really kind of blowing out right there, meaning that it looks much brighter than what it is. It's Dee's Creative Hands. I don't know if they gave this a name. It's on Sparkle. I don't think they name any of them. It's 75% superwash, 20% nylon, and 5% lurex. This is a DK weight, 100 grams each, 219 yards each. And then that came with 2 stitch markers. There's this one, this beautiful butterfly, and then there's this one, which is a moon. This has got this gorgeous, like a fuchsia pink in it, and it's got like this cranberry reds. Some of it's darker and then some of it's lighter. And this is just not quite nearly red. It's more of a fuchsia red. I think I'm going to put this into the lineup with the stuff that I'm going to be making out of the American Heart Association. It's not by the American Heart Association, but it is a book that was a compilation of people who have heart issues. And since I now have a heart condition, I had bought the book, and I'm going to be making some things out of there. And I'm going to put this in with those things, and when I get started, I'm going to use these in one of those patterns. Okay, the next thing I got in the mail is from, this one is from Elizabeth at More Crafts. And I bought this to give to my grandson. She made a tree man, Groot, basically is Groot, which is my grandson Oliver's favorite. But then this guy is my grandson Solomon's favorite. Isn't he the best? And I think his little outfit comes off. It comes off. So he'll have fun playing with that, taking it on and off too. So here's the back. She did such a fabulous job with this. He's just as cute as he can be. I love him. I think he's awesome. He is going to love him. So that is from Elizabeth at More Crafts. And I just bought it off her Etsy store. Well, I see her when she makes them on her channel, and then I wait for them to go onto the Etsy, and I go over and I snag the ones I want. She also sent me, I left them over there, but I think she makes the glass eyes, and I bought some of those also, but they're over there at my desk and I don't feel like getting them. Now, somebody sent me something, and I wish y'all would let me know which one of y'all did. I got something in the mail from Amazon, and it says it came from California, but it came via Amazon. Okay, and I didn't remember what I had ordered, so I already opened it, but I haven't opened it. This was on my list. This was on my wish list. Now I'm wondering, because she does this sometimes, I'm wondering if my daughter Carrie bought this for me for Mother's Day, but I don't know. It's either her or one of you guys, but whichever, thank you for getting me something wonderful off of my wish list. This is by Tahit, I think is the name of it. It's foreign, so kind of hard to say. There's two of them. Oh, I thought it was one, but there's two of them. Oh, these are 100% Angora yarn. Hand wash, warm iron, do not bleach, do not tumble dry, dry clean, dry flat. 100% Angora rabbit, 1.75 ounces or 50 grams. Does not say how many yards that you get anywhere on here, or the colorway, but it's like a very light soft pink. Now this is definitely a lace weight or fingering. I think it's pretty well a fingering weight yarn. I feel like it's a fingering weight yarn. It smells very clean, but my God, is it soft. So soft. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. Okay, now I think that's pretty well everything I want to show you from over here at my desk, at my chair. Now we can just go and sit down and talk while I put the sweater together. Whoever got this for me, thank you so very much. It is beautiful. It's been in my wish list forever. It's just beautiful. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. It is the next day. I was not feeling well enough last night in order to bring this to you guys. So I am back. And I did quite a bit of it already, but I just was going to talk to you guys to finish out this video and give you a brief whatnot about what's been going on this week. Some life updates. So if you guys are okay with that, I hope that you will stay for the next few minutes. I won't be long. I'm not going to stay during the whole, to put the whole sweater together. But I wanted to count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 ball bands for the yarn. I had 2 left, 2 full ones left, and then I've got this one that is partially used, so that makes 8. So if my calculations are correct, I have used 8 of the Bernat 100 gram and 108 yards, so about 820 yards for the extra large to 1X size of the Floozie sweater. Okay, so okay, let's see. I'm going to be needing some more of this here in a little bit. But I wanted to be sure and let you guys know, I wanted to get this video done for this week because I don't really know whether I will get to have my live on Friday night. I hope I can, and I hope I can get this finished today and get it uploaded for you, whether I have my live tomorrow or not, because we have severe weather coming in again. Serbs is on the phone. He's been a mess this week, by the way. That's another thing I was going to tell y'all. Okay, let me show you. This is my pockets. Set those over there. These are the sleeves. So this is the top. And this will be the, it's a 3/4. And again, I do have a video showing you how to put together the Floozie sweater, and it is in that playlist that I mentioned. All right, here is the sweater. I could probably put it on for you, show you what it looks like so far. So this is basically how it goes. And then I'm going to put this, I'm going to put the sleeves in now, and then I will go down the underneath the arm from the sleeve all the way underneath and then down the side, and that will be the end of it. So that's, it's really close to being finished. And I need, maybe I can do it without. I think I can eyeball it. I was gonna say I needed a stitch marker for where the sleeve is going to go, but I think I can eyeball it. And of course this needs to go right sides together. Which doesn't really matter on the sleeve, but it does matter about where I put this to do it. So I want, so like now this is the right side, put that out, and then I need to find the middle of the sleeve. I have not felt good this whole week. I want to say that I commend my friend Cheryl of Vixen Purple Crochet and More. If you don't know Cheryl, please go over and give her some love. I would love to see her hit her 1,000. Maybe if we could get her, at least get her to like 750, 800 would be awesome. Anyway, I admire her being honest about the fact that she has depression and that it affects her. I don't call what I have depression. I get down, and a lot of what's going on with me this week is because of my having to wear this boot. Even though I'm thankful that, I think I do need the marker. What you got, Bubby? I'm gonna get 2 or 3 of them. I am thankful while wearing this boot that it's not surgery. Nobody has said anything about surgery, and so I am very thankful for that. Okay, so don't want to sound ungrateful, but I still can't do things, and that's got me down. And then the last couple days, my hands have been hurting. Maybe it's because I've done so much sweater knitting. I don't know what it is, but that, and then probably because of the weather. And I have fibromyalgia. And if you have fibromyalgia, you will know that that can get to you itself. Just the fact that you have that can get to you. It causes it's kind of like having SAD, the seasonal affective disorder. It's very similar to that. So if I don't get out of the house every other day or so, if I don't go outside and do stuff, if I don't like go to the grocery store or the post office or something, and I spend 2 or 3 days, I may not shower, I may not turn on music or anything. I just sort of stew. So yeah, I wanted to say that I applaud Cheryl because she talks about this and talks about the effect that her yarn has on her, and that when she buys the yarn it makes her feel better. Hello, my name is Jill. I'm addicted to yarn and buying the yarn and collecting the yarn, and it makes me feel really good to have the yarn. It makes me feel good to buy the yarn. There. So I applaud her for saying that. And I'm with you, my friend. I am. Because it is a thing. It's a real thing for us here in this community. You know, we want it and we're so excited by it and all that stuff, but at the same time, it almost feels like a curse sometimes, because it's like we have it and then we can't use it fast enough. Terrible problem to have, right? Real world problem. But I know just what she means. So I'm with you, Cheryl. Let me know what you guys think. You think that's silly? Or do you feel the same way? And how do you not get overwhelmed by the thought about what you have and how you know you want to use it all? There's not one of us buys the yarn and not have an intention that we're going to use it. We know we will. There's something in the back of our brain that says, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. We may not know exactly, but we know we could do you know, something with it. How do you guys keep from getting overwhelmed with all the things that you want to do? How do you balance that? It's not easy. So anyway, back to the weather. We had, over this last weekend, we had, now I don't know when this video is going to get put up. I can tell you that today is the 2nd of May. So I filmed the first part of this video on the 1st of May. And this is the 2nd. And it is a Thursday. And I'm very late getting, well, no, I'm not late. I try to get a video out. If I'm going to do this type of video, I try to get it out in the first part of the week, but I just didn't manage to do that. I just didn't feel like it. Anyway, but we had some terrible weather, and we actually had a tornado. And it formed right over our heads out here at the farm. And then it went from here. We live west of town. And it came right across, and it stayed west of Knox City, where my dad is over there. We are 5 miles outside of Knox City. And the tornado was on the ground for 7 miles. And it made it past Knox City, towards going to the west of everything that way. And then it went back up into the clouds, and they were watching it. And that's the one that went up into Oklahoma and tore up, at least the first one to go through Sulphur, Oklahoma. If you have heard the news from about that one. And that storm system was tearing up everything from here, basically just a little north of Abilene here in Texas, all the way up into Kansas. It was just tearing everything up all the way up that way. And poor Sulphur, they got like, that tornado went through, and then just a little while later another one came in. It just kept coming in. They had 3 or 4 in their area right there. That day was over 100 tornadoes. And it was nuts. And we just kept getting beat up. The hail, the wind. We had baseball size hail. Mr. Fiber and I were standing out watching that storm as it was forming right over our heads, and you could hear the wind up in there. You could hear it. Now, some people say when a tornado's coming, you hear like a train. It did not sound like a train. You could just hear that wind blowing over our head. And we're standing out there and watching this, and all of a sudden I hear like a crack. And then from over here, a crack. It was very spread out. And I thought, is that lightning? What is that? I didn't see any lightning when it cracked. We went out to the front yard. We were in the backyard when I heard it, and I kept hearing noise. And then we went out to the front yard, and we had baseball size hail. So what I was hearing was the baseball size hail hitting the trees. That is the largest hail I've ever seen. I've seen golf ball up to golf ball size hail. First time ever seeing baseball size, softball size. I know baseball and softball are different. When people talk about hail, you've got ping pong, golf ball, baseball, and then softball that I've heard talked about. This was softball. And they were weird because it was like several pieces of maybe a little ice cube that comes out of your ice cube maker, and they were all in one, pushed together in one and coming down all at once. Instead of being sprinkled out, they were making a ball and coming out. It was wild. We wound up going up to my dad's, and I took, some of you saw that video in the group. If you want to go look, you can see his porch. He has a metal awning over his porch, and I'm telling you, it was so loud under that thing. So loud. Oh. And he was getting bigger than quarter size. They weren't quite ping pong ball. They were a little bit smaller than that. And then it just kept coming. We left and went back home, and it came again after that. We thought it was done. Sun was out. It just kept coming. We did not lose power that night, but we had more storms again last night, and we lost power last night. And then we're supposed to have more storms tonight and tomorrow night. So Thursday and Friday. Basically, if you watch Ryan Hall, y'all, here on YouTube, we've got stuff coming for the next week. So just want you to know, I don't know whether I will be on. I don't know if we'll lose power. I don't know if my videos will get put up. I don't know if I'll be able to be live. I don't know. I can't guarantee anything at this point. Pretty wild weather we're having. So we did get, I told Dad, I said, well, we need a plan for you, because we cannot continue to do this and me think, okay, what do we do with Dad? Because the sirens went off up there for him. And I was talking to him, and he says, what should I do? And I said, I told him, I thought it, at the time I said I thought it was just wind, and I said, how is it doing? And he said he was okay. He said it wasn't terrible wind, and he didn't see anything either. And I said, well, the next time this happens, and it was west of him, his neighbor across the street lost part of their roof from the wind, but they had 2 layers on their roof, and it peeled the first part of the front of their house, not the whole roof, but on the front, peeled part of that first layer off. And Dad's such a sweetheart. He loaned him his ladder because he was watching him out there. He was putting up the tarp to cover up that stuff, and he said, "You're bothering me with that ladder you got." So he gave him his good ladder to go over there and use it, and they got their roof back on. They put all the shingles back on. Anyway, I said, we need a plan for you. Well, our hospital here is only 2 blocks from Dad. So I said, you need to go up there to the hospital the next time the sirens go off. If you're not out here, you need to go over there, because they have a basement. It is a big brick building with a basement. So I believe that is the plan. Although, that's one plan. Although the neighbor that I was just talking about from across the street, they've been really nice to him. They have a cellar. So they told him, when that goes off, we will come and get you, and you will come over and get down in our cellar with us. So he's okay. I don't have to worry now. Because that was a little scary. I kept telling Mr. Fiver, I said, well, what do we do with Dad? You know, we got to do something. We have to have a plan. We just had not thought about that. You know, he moved in November. We've had a few storms, but nothing like we've had the last week or two. It's been pretty nasty. So, yeah, there's that. And they're pretty nice. The boy that lives, the guy that lives across the street, I remember when he was younger, I may have even cut his hair. I know I've cut his sister's hair. And his sister works at the restaurant where we go eat. Over the next town over, they put a restaurant in, and that's our new spot to go over and get a hamburger and stuff. They've got really good hamburgers. But anyway, and then the mother lives right around the corner. So he's made really good friends with them. Those are his neighbors. And then the cop shop, that's what he calls it. That's what Dad calls it, the cop shop, is right next door. The city hall is on the next block, and they've moved our